Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about do this once and watch how women treat you differently. So this is all about becoming more loose and relaxed around women. Because if you've had trouble with attracting women in the past, and if you've had trouble understanding women, and if you've had trouble in your past relationships, and you just generally feel when you're around women, you just generally feel really, really nervous and not knowing what to do, not knowing what to say, then the best thing for you to do is to develop this skill. And it is a skill because you can learn it, okay? You may think that being nervous around women is actually just a part of your personality. It's not. You can become more confident around women. You can learn to enjoy being around women more without it becoming uncomfortable. You can develop this skill, okay? So it's a skill that you can easily acquire. It just may take a bit of time and a bit of repetition, that's all. And then you'll get there. So what does it mean then to become loose and more relaxed around women? So you got to look at what you are thinking when you're around women, because it could be that one of the reasons why you're not very relaxed around women is because when you're around them, especially around one that you like and is one that's really beautiful, you may be in your head a lot, worried about what you're saying or thinking about what to say next. And basically what this does is that it makes you appear less natural around women. And they can sense your energy, your nervous energy, okay? And it can put women off, because one of the key things that women like in men, and it's universal, is confidence, okay? Women like men who are confident. And one of the best ways that you can display that is by being more relaxed and loose around women. So you got to look at what you're thinking when you're around women. You got to look at what's going on in your head. What's causing this nervousness or this energy that you're displaying that's putting these women off? And usually it's to do with what your outcomes are. Because if you're, let's say, in a group and there's a woman that you really, really fancy, one of the things that you may try to do is like, okay, I'm going to try to impress her. You may get overly enthusiastic, erratic, and start doing some crazy stuff to try and, impress her. Saying really silly things, like over the top silly stuff. Behaving in a really dramatic way, to just try and get her attention. Showing off, these kinds of things. And women can see right through that straight away. Okay, they can see right through it. They know what you're doing, and it isn't appealing, and they don't find it attractive. Okay. Another thing might be you're just extremely, extremely nervous. So what you have to do then is you have to look at what your outcomes are. Okay, because it could be because you find this woman attractive, your outcome is that you're trying to make her your girlfriend. You want her to message you. You want her to be more interested in you. Okay, and so you're thinking of ways that what you can do to make that happen. But the best thing that you can do is to just have a different outcome. Okay, so you got to switch your outcomes around. Instead of thinking in terms of how can I make her my girlfriend, how can I get her to like me, how can I get her to sleep with me, whatever it may be, you got to focus on, okay, my goal is to have fun. My goal is to have fun, not just with her, but with everybody in this environment, especially if you're in a group setting. Or if you are just on a date with a beautiful woman, then your goal is to just, again, to have fun, but your goal is also for her to have fun as well. So you're getting her to laugh, you're getting her to open up, you're getting her to relax, and basically you just want to be really silly and playful. And not take it so seriously, and not to try and think about it too seriously. You just got to be, like I said, be relaxed and be loose and just enjoy the moment, rather than thinking about how can I get her to like me more, how can I do this, how can I do that. Get out of your head and put that focus on her. Get her to laugh. Also, as well as being silly, being playful and getting her to laugh, you also have to be finding out who she is. So you got to be asking questions about herself. So it's always a good idea to like think of a few questions that are really important to you. You know, what you would really like in a woman. For example, let's say you want a woman who is faithful. So you might want to ask about, you know, the topic of cheating, right? It may be a bit of a serious topic, but you can still make it light and playful, or just very, very casual. You don't have to get too serious into it. You can just say something along the lines of, I'm a person who's never cheated on anyone. Have you ever cheated on anyone? Or something like that, and just been like, make it into something like exciting, like, oh, have you, like as if this is like a secret, you see. So, oh, have you ever cheated on someone? You know, it's the way that you put it across, you see, that matters the most. And it can still end up and be a playful conversation, okay? And that could be something that's really important to you. So obviously, you're putting the questions on her, which is the main point of this, okay? You're taking the focus off of you, the spotlight off of you, and instead you're putting the spotlight on her instead. So you can be, so it takes away your nervousness. Because if you're asking her questions about her life and what she's been doing, and you're trying to make her laugh, you're trying to be silly, trying to be funny and goofy, you know, you're taking the spotlight off of yourself and you're putting it on her, okay? That's especially with questions. And if you feel your nervousness coming up, then redirect the focus back onto her and ask her questions, okay? So the spotlight is no longer on you. So what a lot of this actually comes down to, this the reason why you may be feeling this way around women is due to a lack of confidence in yourself, okay? So if you feel like you do have a lack of confidence in yourself, and that's one of the reasons why you are not, you're very nervous, or you have you just don't know how to act or behave around women, and it's putting them off, then to build your self-confidence, one of the best things that you can do, especially around, well, not around women, but before you meet women, you go on a date with them, you got to think of things, because one of the I'm sorry, this is taking me a long time to get around to, but one of the reasons why people lack self-confidence is because they have an internal dialogue that is extremely hard on themselves. I'll repeat that. You have an internal dialogue that's really hard on yourself. And you're probably more harder on yourself than you are other people. You may beat yourself up a lot for different things. So in order to turn that around, you've got to change the way that you talk to yourself. You've got to change your self-talk, okay? So what I want you to do then, to help you give yourself a boost and to feel better about yourself, and this is something that I want you to practice a lot, okay? Not just a one-time thing, but this is something that you need to do basically a lot until it becomes instinctual, until you do it all the time. And that is, you've got to look for things in yourself that you can genuinely appreciate. So what are things about yourself that you genuinely like? Not to like, and the key word there is genuinely, right? Because if you're saying, well, I like the way I look, but you don't like the way you look, then you're not actually, that's not a genuine statement, is it? Right? So you got to think about things that you genuinely do like about yourself. Perhaps you like the fact that you was able to pass your driving test the first time, and you've done that with lots of different things in your life. Let's say you're very smart, or you're very clever with like mechanical things. You're a good driver, you know, these things. Yeah, perhaps that's one thing. Like, well, you know what? Yes, I am a very good, dependable driver. Yeah. It could be that you were able to achieve something, like, for example, let's say you wrote a book, or you have a good business going on. Let's say you got good grades at school. Let's say you have lots of great friends and you're able to keep them, and you know that you're a good friend. Yeah. maybe you already are really good with women, and that's something that you really like about yourself. Yeah? So you got to think about things about yourself that are true, that you genuinely like about yourself. And if you can think of like maybe like 10 things, that's really good. That's really great. And you just got to just keep on thinking about those things. And another thing to do as well is when you ever go to a mirror, don't pick yourself apart. Like if you must, get rid of your mirrors until you need to use them, okay? And so you're not picking yourself apart in mirrors and things like that either. And if you can't do that, a good practice, a good thing that you can try and do is if this is obviously for those guys that don't like the way that they look, instead of looking at the things that you don't like in the mirror, look at the things that you do like in the mirror. Like perhaps you like your hair color or your eye color. Perhaps you like your skin tone. Perhaps you like the way that you have your beard or your the way that you shave your face, your trimming, your grooming habits. Perhaps you like that. Okay, it's all. I know it sounds very airy-fairy. I know it sounds kind of weird. Okay, but it does really help when you, instead of looking for things to pick apart about yourself, you only look for things that you can appreciate. Only look for things that you genuinely like about yourself. And you'll start to have a better self-image and start to like yourself more. Okay? And don't just do that for yourself. Do it for other people too. Only look for the things that you want to see. Only look for things that are good, that you like. Okay? And it just puts you in a better mood. And at least that's what I've found in my own practice of doing things similar to that. Look for things that are good and pleasing in yourself and in others, and learn to appreciate yourself and others more. And that will help you tremendously with your confidence and your overall level of happiness. Okay? So another way that as well that you can develop your confidence is getting really good at talking to women. So you want to practice, again, it's a skill, it's something you can learn. You want to practice talking to women. And the best way you can do that is start by talking to women that you don't find attractive. And just learn how to be more loose and relaxed and funny and playful and silly, and getting women to laugh and have a good time around you. Okay, and I'm not saying you should take these women out on a date, but it's just women that you meet in your everyday interactions with them. You know, so when you're in the supermarket and you're stuck at the checkout, you know, in the queue, you know, and there's like a woman behind you, like an old lady or something, you just start chatting to her, just start talking to her. You know, just have a conversation, get her to laugh, say something funny, be a bit silly. And maybe that you're talking to the cashier and she happens to be a woman, right? Say something to her, say something funny. Look her in the eye too. Look women in the eyes more if you struggle with that too. And just start by doing that. Just start by everyday people that you speak to, okay? And just be loose, be funny. And then what you'll find is that the more you do that, the better you'll get at it. And then when you meet a woman that you do like, that you do find attractive, what you'll find is that doing that is way more easy and effortless because you've done it around so many other women. Okay, so it's all about just honing in on these skills. Okay, but words do not teach. Okay, I can tell you to do these things, but you have to apply it. Okay, you have to apply it. Otherwise, this is just a useless video for you. Okay, so you got to apply it. You can't just be watching YouTube videos all day. You have to go out and apply these things and use it. And also, you want to go and get my book too, and read that and apply the knowledge in that too. So go to www.christineloveridge.com. and then click on the menu on the website, and then drop down to the book, and you'll find this, Attracting the Beautiful Woman of Your Dreams. You don't need to log into the website, you don't need to sign up. There's no weird, confusing landing page or anything like that. You can just read it completely for free on the website. You don't need to give me any of your personal information. Okay? If you do happen to want to get a physical copy, then you want to support me in that way, then you can do so by going to Amazon. The link for that is also on the page where the book is on my website. You can get a physical copy or you can get a Kindle version, but it's not necessary because everything in this is on the website. certainly if you want to support me, or you just for some reason really want a physical copy. With a physical copy, it does come with a discreet spine, so if you put it on your bookshelf, no one's going to know that you've got a dating book, if that bothers you in any way. If you feel embarrassed or whatever, that's fine. And if you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you feel like you need coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com and pick whichever coaching option works best for you at this current time. And I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.